Hello Aditya, sorry, I had a technical problem. My Wi-Fi adapter was not working. Hello?
Okay, okay. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, are you prepared for the interview?
Yeah, I'm prepared.
Okay, great. So, I have your resume in front of me. Can you just briefly introduce yourself?
Well, I am pass out of 2016 and there is a bit of gap in my resume as well. I was involved in my family business and there were a few family problems going on. That is why I couldn't work continuously. And apart from that, I started my career in direct eye. Okay, and in direct I worked for about more than a year. Then I moved to some other company. No. So then after that I had few family problems. Then I came back home. Then about for 1.5 year I was involved in my family business, and then I got an opportunity to work in Bangalore. And after that, this COVID came, and I switched to this current company, WakeFit, where I've been working for about 1.5 year. In this current organization, I have done a lot of things in Python and Django. So the primary technology stack, I have worked in Java, I have worked in Python. I also little bit I also worked in PHP. So primarily in my past, in my recent past experience, I have been working in Python, in Django primarily. So there I have built a lot of systems like email alerting systems and product detail page. Our Wakefit is an e-commerce company, so basically home solutions company. So e-commerce products we provide. We have a website where we take in orders and we like so we work on the logistics and various order uh, fulfillment things we work on through software. It is all powered by the
Okay,
Django technology, and I have built email alerting systems back end-to-end integration of 15 new warehouses, then product detail page, then lot of drive upload, sheet upload, crons I have written. So these things I have done in my current organization.
okay, great. That's good. So, if you can share your screen and
Definitely.
open any ID of your choice, I can give you a small programming question to solve.
Okay, sure,
And after you solve that, I can ask you a few more questions
sure,
about tech in general.
cool.
Okay, so you will be doing it in Python?
You can see my screen.
Yes. You can do a control N.
Yeah, just a second. How is compile? What is compile basically on?
What do you mean basically on?
Means what sector you guys target and what is the work you do?
We are in healthcare industry,
Okay, healthcare.
and we're healthcare data providers for pharmaceutical companies and
Okay,
business intelligence companies.
okay.
Okay, so I'm sending you the question on Meet Chat.
Okay,
I would want you to solve it in 20 minutes. It's not a
okay,
very complicated question.
okay.
So solve it in 20 minutes and go for correctness. I'm more interested in correctness than anything
Given
else.
n by n grade, I mean horizontal and forward match, right? Dove, cat. So it will be a n cross n grid. Means array will be grid will be given to us, and an input string we have to will be given to us, and we need to return true or false, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
So can you first walk me through your approach? How you going to do it?
uh, so what I can do?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
So what we can do? We will check. Uh, what are the possible places where the string can lie? Okay. Means the string lengthwise we have to check. So the possible places from where the string can start. Okay.
Okay.
So those places we need to check, and so first will be the horizontal check, then will be the vertical check. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, we will check one by one. If the first character matches, then we will try to match with the remaining characters. Okay, horizontal or vertical.
Okay.
If the first character matches, then we will try to match it with the all the remaining characters. If it is all if all matches, then we will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. Means if the first
Okay.
character matches in the horizontal one, then we will check the remaining characters. Means we will call a separate function for that.
Okay. So if you're confident about this approach, you can start implementing. And it's 12:15 right now, so you have time till 12:35.
Okay, cool. Till 25 only I will finish. Don't worry.
35,
Okay.
20 minutes.
Okay. No, no, I can finish it in 10 minutes. Okay, no problem.
Okay.
मेरा इंटरव्यू चल रहा
पैंट रिटर्न हो रहा
है हाँ
कौन सा वो कहाँ रखा
मेरे को नहीं पता इधर
सादा पैंट
जस्ट अ सेकंड ना हेलो मम्मी
हाँ
मेरा इंटरव्यू चल रहा है पैसे चिल्ला रहे हैं आप अजीब सा
मैंने कहाँ रखा वो तो नहीं
मेरे को क्या पता वहाँ टीवी के पास देखिए ना Yeah, I got the answers. Hello, Aditya.
Hello.
Yeah, you can see my screen now.
Okay. So okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, you actually solved it in 10 minutes.
Hmm.
That's good. Can you walk me through your code a little bit?
Yeah, so basically what I'm doing, I'm iterating through the rows and iterating through the columns. Okay, means
Hmm.
iterating through the grid two times. Okay, one which I'm iterating to those positions which where uh, means column wise if we check means vertically if we check we'll get the means the positions where we can start if we check try to check vertically. Okay,
Okay.
so these are those positions. Now second one positions I have checked where we can check horizontally we can check.
Okay.
Cool. Now
Okay, makes sense.
now at any point of time if we find the first index equal to the first index of the string, the grid value, then we'll check the remaining positions. Okay, check column and check row. Okay,
Okay.
now it will return true or false whether it is there in the that or not. Okay,
Okay, great. Do you think it can be optimized? You
yeah.
don't have to do it. You can just tell me how it can be optimized.
Okay, so it can be optimized. I can like mix these two iterations. Means one iteration we can do. Means we can keep a check of rows and columns. Means if I is less than this value, then only we'll do this check. And if j is less than this value, then only we'll do this check. Okay, that we can do. Okay,
Okay.
and this will be a n cross n one iteration. Okay, means here I'm taking
Yeah.
two iterations. I'm doing. We can make it as one iteration, but just adding a
Yes.
simple condition. Yeah.
Yes, you can make it in one condition, and then whenever you find that the position is matching with the zeroth index
Hmm.
of the string, you can check for row and check for column both together.
Yeah.
Okay, that's also fine. Okay, fine. Let me ask you a couple more questions. You worked on Django and everything, right?
Yeah.
So, uh, imagine that you have a browser,
Hmm.
okay, and you enter some URL in that browser, which is like an API endpoint,
Hmm.
okay, and you press enter.
Hmm.
So, I want you to walk me through the entire request response lifecycle in as much detail as you can. The reason why I mentioned it's an API endpoint is that you don't have to worry about the front end. Whatever URL that you put in, it's going to go and retrieve some kind of data from your application.
Hmm.
So, what will be the request response lifecycle?
So the first the request will go through the internet. Okay, wherever the call wherever the system is called, it will hit the server. Okay, the
Okay.
then the server will process it the API call and based on the various parameters which have been passed and the payload if it's a post request then the payload will be there and that's how it will be processed. Okay, and then it will return a response to the client. The server will return a response to the client and then he will be able to view it whatever response he got. Okay.
Okay. So, you skipped some part in it. Once you say that the request is passed,
Hmm.
for example, it's a post request, it's going to have a payload. This is, you're talking about the point where your request interacts with any web server,
Hmm.
where it comes in contact with the first web server.
Yeah.
So what happens inside the application? What happens inside, like what happens after the web server part and before the data reaching to the client part? That is the entire Django.
So Django, I've been working in Django, but not so much detailed way. What it does in inside at that I don't know. So it simply processes it, and it has a processor, Django processor. It processes the request and URLs is there. Okay, yeah, there is mapping. Okay, URL mapping is there, so it maps into each URL mapping to a specific function. Okay, or class API class. Okay,
Yeah.
and that mapping through that mapping that specific function is called, and if it is a post request, if it is a get request, a specific function is called. Okay, for post the post function is called, for get it, the get function is called, and that is how this whole the whole loop iterates for that specific endpoint. Okay, and usually we write the code in urls.py. The mapping part we write in urls.py, and the code is written in views.py. Okay, views.py or something like that. We can also create several other modules as well, like task.py. Files means several other files. Usually the API call is written in the views.py. Okay,
Okay.
and of the app, what app we are using. So yeah, Django has a main project. First the call, the request mapping goes to the urls.py of the project. Okay, and from the project it is mapped to specific app. Okay, which app it is mapped to. Okay, the urls.py of which app. So in Django it works on according to as a project. Django project is there, and there can be multiple apps of Django in a particular project. Okay, and that URL mapping url.py is mapped to the apps url.py. Okay, and inside that, in that specific apps url.py, there is one views.py. Okay, that views.py contains the function. Okay, hello.
Okay. And where does a database come into the picture? For example, your API call has to return some data and it has to query the database for it.
So database is usually stored. We create ORM queries we write. So and database is setting is done in settings.py of the project, where we can use any SQLite or MySQL, anything we can use, MongoDB, anything we can use. And after setting up, we have to create a class of that. Okay, Django class, models class. So those models class are stored in the models.py of the app, and models.py is stored that class is stored over there, and yeah, so that is how it is called. From means from models.py we import the class models class, whichever models class we have created, means whatever table we want. Okay, and then we do ORM queries for that. Okay, ORM queries are like the model name dot objects dot filter, and whatever in filters where clause is there, means what is specific type of column, means filtering you want. So that filter, inside the filter we do the filtering, and after that we can either select all the rows, or we can select the first row or last row. We can also do order by. Okay, order by can also be done. So these things are done.
Okay. 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 Great.
ORM queries.
So, yeah, I'll ask you one last question.
Okay.
Uh, so, if I give you a bunch of data, which is, say, a list of dictionaries, and every dictionary represents a resume.
Okay.
Okay, so every dictionary has key value pairs, which is name and the name of the person, work experience, and it is a text plain text inside
Key
it,
key
which
value
is
pairs.
say,
You
paragraphs.
usually have key value pairs, not dictionary. Yeah.
Yes. So what I'm saying is the keys can be name, work experience, and education,
Okay.
and the value will be string.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Okay, and you have a list of dictionaries which is extremely large,
Yeah. Yeah.
say hundreds of millions of dictionaries.
Okay. Okay.
I want you to build a full text search service on top of this, so I can query with a search term like Apache Spark, or I can query with a search term like Apache, and you give me all the resumes which have the word Apache in them.
Okay. So we can use it using Elasticsearch. We can directly dump the data there, and then we can make a query for that. What key for what key you want that Apache term? Okay. A raw query we can do a raw query, or also there are queries for Elasticsearch queries are there, so we can do Elasticsearch. Means Apache Lucene we have to use to for text search.
So, can you think of a solution without using a third-party application? You can even tell me if you know how Elasticsearch or Lucene works in the background. How is this problem actually solved?
No, that I don't know. I haven't read about it. I have only used the text search engine for text searching. Apache and Lucene I have worked on, and yeah. So
Okay, so how would you solve it even if you don't know
okay,
how the
okay,
services work in the background?
okay. Let me think of it. So what we can do, mm, we will make a. So we have to maintain a term frequency index sort of thing. Okay, index the keywords which are there in the dictionaries. Okay,
Okay.
so what we have to do, each for each word we will maintain a list of what to say, the list of dictionary IDs which contains that word.
Okay.
Okay, that reverse. This is the reverse document, uh, inverse document indexing. I would say
Yes, inverted index.
inverted indexing we have to do, and then we have to. Uh, then the problem becomes very easy. We can directly fetch it.
Okay, great. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So I have everything that I wanted to ask. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. How is Compile, and does they provide a full time remote opportunity? Compile.
No, it does not provide you with full-time remote opportunity. Right now, we come to the office twice a week. It's a hybrid model,
Okay. Okay.
but that's going to increase in the future because I mean, as long as this COVID thing stays at bay, as long as it doesn't cause any
You guys have
problems,
started.
it
You guys have
may.
started going to office.
Yes,
Okay.
twice a week.
Twice a week in Bangalore, where it is.
In Bangalore, yes. So personally speaking, twice a week is perfect for me.
Okay.
I think hybrid model is the best.
Okay.
And yeah, what was your other question?
And how is the work-life balance over there, and how deadlines are given, and how projects are handled?
Yeah, work-life balance is good. So most of the people here work as independent contributors. We don't have a lot of managers that oversee your work or do micromanaging or any of that stuff. We just have uh, the head of engineering, the CTO, principal engineers. They work with us, and we're given tasks and we're given projects, and we have to take complete responsibility and complete ownership of a project. So if I'm given something and I'm a senior software engineer, I'm supposed to take care of that project by myself and take help whenever I need. And at any time in the future, if that project needs anything, I have complete ownership over it.
Okay, okay.
And working hours are also 8 to 9 hours a day. It's not. It's nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay. Okay. Cool. ठीक है. Thank you.
Anything
No,
else?
no, that's it.
Okay, great. Thank you.